Some cultures don't disappear with noise. They disappear quietly, not because they lack beauty, but because no one stayed long enough to protect them. This is not a story about objects. It's a story about a choice. Alice Kandell did not begin as a collector. She began as a witness. Hello, Alice. Welcome to Sisi Hollywood. We are the soul behind of success and the window of East and West. So welcome.
Well, thank you, Sisi. I'm glad to meet you. It's an honor.
Yeah. So for the audience who are watching right now, can you give them an introduction about you and your work?
Well, when I was in college, I was in a country called Sikkim, which is on the border of Tibet. And Tibet was at war. We could not go in, but I fell in love with the Tibetan culture. Sikkim was part of Tibet originally, and in 1600 they split off. So it was a Buddhist Tibetan country, and I fell in love with Tibet.
What she saw was not only beauty, but disappearance. Traditions fading, languages thinning, sacred objects leaving their original world forever.
When I got back home to New York after, it was about 9 years, I decided to try to collect some of the beautiful art that was Tibetan. I mean, it was beautiful.
You're talking about the work, like they destroy the work, the art, like they're burning it? Or how that works?
The statues, they melted down the gold. They were gold statues. They picked the gems and the jewels out of the eyes and the crowns. And then they sadly dynamited the monasteries, 6,000 monasteries that were covered with frescoes and beautiful paintings. And unfortunately, they're all gone. They're dynamited. There's nothing left. One's left. Yeah, so the only thing left are there's other stuff around, but basically.
And at that moment, she made a decision not to observe, but to stay.
I collected it and kept it in a room like it would have been in a little monastery or a private shrine room in a home of a wealthy family in Tibet. And I collected some 250 objects. And the room itself became something. At first, the pieces were all over the house, and my children were playing with them. And then I decided they belonged together like a shrine would be in Tibet. So I put them all together, and as the room grew, I realized that it had some special effect on me, something more spiritual from the Tibetan religion than just a bunch of artwork. Like if you go to a museum, you see a piece, and then you see another piece and another piece with a light and a sign on it. But if you put them all together in a room, it becomes something very spiritual and very peaceful and lovely. And I realized that did not belong to me. So I decided to donate it to the National Museum of America, the Smithsonian Museum, which I did. Together, it has a value that's not estimable. I mean, it's the most popular thing at the whole Smithsonian because you go in there and you feel a sense of of peace, and a sense of happiness, spirituality and happiness. It's very special. To me it was, but it is to the people that go in there, and there have been hundreds of thousands of people in there. And recently, when Michael Daley nominated me for the Nobel Peace Prize, it was because of that peaceful feeling. And the Smithsonian itself wrote a letter saying that peace is in the minds of men, and so it is up to us to change the minds of men into this peace. And this helps you in that room.
That is so true, because when you look at those art, it's a reminder of peace, of love, right?
Well, altogether, there's a sense of peace. It's not just a room. They have flickering lights, candle lights, like it would be in a monastery, and monks chanting. So it's a whole feeling. When Alice speaks about Dalai Lama, she never speaks of politics. She speaks of humanity. She remembers his hand holding hers, his eyes never leaving her face. No speeches, no ideology, only presence. I think the Tibetans were the most peaceful people in the world, and they got taken over. They lost their country. I didn't speak to him about politics at all. I mean, I know when you lose your country, you feel that, you would like to have it back, I guess, whatever that means. I don't ever talk to him about that. He's just a very lovely man. Lovely. When I went to him, he took my hand and he said, "Come sit by me." And he was so sweet. And he held my hand, and the whole time he was holding my hand. And he came to bless the shrine room in Washington. So it wasn't a political discussion. We didn't get into, this one took over your country, but we didn't do that. It was all very spiritual.
Even when you lost your country, even when you're facing the situation, a lot of people don't understand, but you still can maintaining that centerpiece. I think that's amazing.
It's very hard to do, but he does it. He does it in spite of the fact that bad things have happened to him and his country. He is very accepting, as much as you can be. I mean, he's an amazing man, amazing. And it's an amazing feeling of peace. And that's what that shrine room, which is a little bit of Tibet. When you walk into that shrine room, you're walking back into history, into Tibet. That doesn't exist anymore. And that's what it was. And that emanates the feeling of peace and love.
Thank you so much. And I really admire your work. Thank you for continuing shining your
wonderful
light.
interview. Thank you so much. You really have an understanding of humanity and people and how things are with human beings. So thank you.
Thank you.
Preservation is not about the past. It is about who we choose to be when something so fragile asks us to care.